I recorded this whole video and then I formatted the wrong SD card. Anyways, let's get into it. This is the Aputure P300C. Aputure's first entry into the full color RGB WW professional fixture market for filmmakers. We're not talking about pocket lights anymore. We're talking about the big boys. I saw this light teased a little bit at NAB a couple years ago, and since then they've refined it. They've basically put all of my favorite things that I love about particular fixtures, and they've jammed them all together in this one gunmetal gray and black plastic metal piece of glorious machinery that looks like it was designed by Apple before they came out with the touch bar and got rid of the headphone jack. So let's just go over some of my favorite things about this fixture so far. I've only had it for a couple days, so I can't do a complete in-depth long-term review yet. That'll be coming. And then I'll go over some things that maybe I don't like. My favorite thing about this fixture is the preset buttons. These preset buttons are super valuable and huge time savers. They work just as you would expect them to work. A long press, and then you have a confirm button there, and then you set your preset, and then recalling them is just a short press. You can set any of the colors or special effects. Oh, and there's special effects. There's only one other light that I know of that has presets that work just quite like this. Also, if you're using Aputure's Sidus Link mobile app, you can set unlimited presets, but on the controller, you've got 4 built in, which is awesome. Number 3 is the special effects. There's actually useful special effects for a change on this fixture. So, of course, we've got the pulsing effect, which is one of my favorites, so you can configure the intensity and how quickly it pulses. You can turn the pulsing on and off. And then we've got like welding. And you can configure the brightest portion, and then you can configure the minimum portion. You can set the welding color to a gel or any of the full color options. All right, see, now we've got red welding. Turn it on, turn it off. And of course you can save it onto a preset. So there's actually useful special effects here. I like 167. I'm gonna make that my preset. Number 4 is this semi-detachable pigtail controller. The pigtail controller is basically perfectly designed in my mind. The fixture comes with a long cable and a short cable, so you can keep the controller attached to the back in any direction, up or down. So if you needed to rotate the fixture or something, you can still have the controller be right side up. But also it comes with an extra lightning clamp, so you can attach the controller to another C-stand close to you, or you can fly the fixture way up really high and then also have the controller still mounted down by where you can reach it. And then you don't have to go get a ladder just so you can cycle the power on and off to the fixture. I really like how the power button is on the controller. And it's super bright. This fixture is over 9,000 lux at 1 meter away. That is an incredible amount of output, but not just the brightness, also the quality of the light. I'll put the numbers up on the screen here. After doing my measurements, I found that I was getting about the same output as the 300D Mark I with the old style reflector at 1 meter away from the soft panel, which is amazing. And the color quality is outstanding. On top of that, there's a couple other things I wanted to mention. There's also these awesome little cable relief hooks, which are convenient. And if you're not going to use a light stand, you want to use the junior pin adapter. There's a nice little place to store the screw on the side of the yoke. We've also got a really nice braking mechanism on the yoke, which feels really super solid. And we've got these little feet here on the bottom of the light, so you can set it down on the ground flat without it tipping over. There's just been a lot of attention to detail. And of course, we've got a nice rigid metal handle to carry the light around with. The Kelvin range is between 2,000 and 10,000. So the amount of output that you get with this fixture, along with the quality of light alone, would be reason enough to pay $1,700 for this light. The Aputure Nova falls into a price category significantly less than similar fixtures that offer less features with less output or less color quality. So it's definitely worth the price of admission. Now let's talk about some of the things that you may need to consider before buying this light. Number 1, it doesn't come with a V-mount plate. Now, V-mount plates are non-standard for lights like this. It's usually always a separate accessory. But in Aputure's particular case, you may have a hard time acquiring the Aputure branded V-mount adapter. Now, lights like this hardly ever come with V-mount plates. It's almost always a separate accessory. But I imagine Aputure's V-mount accessory, when it's available, it's going to be 2 V-mount batteries that you have to attach to it because it is a higher powered fixture. It has higher output. It needs more power. But it's going to be hard to get that accessory because everyone knows Aputure's lights, modifiers, and accessories are hard to get a hold of because they're affordable and they're awesome and everyone buys the hell out of them. That being said, you'll have to pre-order, back order, and pray because the rental houses already placed all their orders like 6 months ago and they're probably just going to be shipping, this weekend. So if you're on the fence about ordering one of these lights, you should just do it and then figure out if it was a good decision later. Hint, it's a good decision because even if you decide not to keep it, selling it on the secondhand market would be super easy because everybody wants their lights. Another consideration is it is a 24-pound fixture. It is not a lightweight tool. You're going to have to also invest in C-stands or my favorite, rolling stands. I use the ones from Impact. And you're going to want to get some sandbags. Because the power supply is built into the fixture, you won't then be able to attach it to the bottom of your stand to offset the need for a sandbag. So make sure you get your sandbags. Safety first. The final and probably the worst thing about this light is it doesn't work with my favorite little 2.4 gigahertz aperture light controller that controls all my other lights. The pigtail controller style remote thing kind of helps offset the frustration, but it still makes me sad that this doesn't work with it. This is my favorite. All things considered, this light is an insane value, and my criticisms boil down to it's too big for the baby batteries and it's probably sold out. So if you have a chance to get your hands on one of these, I highly recommend you do it. Like with any real purchase, it's best to try things before you buy them because this might be more light than you need. This is a different category of lighting. This is stepping up to the big leagues. This is a professional tool. It's punching in a weight class above its own. I feel like this is how people felt when Aputure first came out with the 120D, but this is for the full color panel market. And they came out punching hard. If you want to catch my update on the Nova after I've been using it for a couple months, make sure you're subscribed. If you want to get your own Nova, there's a link to it in the description of this video. If you have any questions about the Nova, drop them in the comments. I'll see if I can answer them in my next video about the Nova. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.